You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The crew is in the building. My man Jay Moore, fresh to death over there. I see you, expensive polos. What's happening, my brother?
I know what you're talking about. This is how I got this from
You gotta tell them.
Yeah, this is not anything special. This
That ain't about how you get it,
very
brother.
standard polo.
Yeah, looks nice.
Oh, all right, brother.
Trying to give you some props, bro.
All right, yeah, but I'm doing well.
Okay.
Peace, freedom, and reparations. Let's get to it.
My man. Lonegevity, how are you, sir?
Doing great, man. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, that sounds pretty standard response.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and move on.
Okay.
My man DJ Jay Diff, what's happening, man?
Salutations.
Everything good?
Yeah, man.
You all right? Seem happy.
Yeah, man. My weekly therapy session.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Hey, anytime you can help somebody out, man, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Condolences to Magoo, man, who passed away from Timbaland and Magoo.
Absolutely.
Melvin Barcliff, I believe, is his government. I'm not sure what happened, but
I don't think they released that information yet.
That just happened today, right?
This is recently, last
2 days
couple
ago.
days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yesterday maybe. But yeah, man, condolences to that brother, man. I know that's him and Tim are super close. I haven't heard anything from Timbaland. I don't know if he's released any. People
He
release
made
a
a couple
statement.
posts.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, salute to him, man. And Clarence Avant too.
Yes.
Passed away at 92, I believe.
If anybody has
Godfather, bro.
has not seen the Netflix documentary, The Black Godfather, definitely check that out. He's had his hand in everything.
Yeah.
Way back in the day to basically right now.
Yeah.
So definitely, he had lost his wife to some foolishness.
Like a robbery or something.
Yeah, it was like a
Robbery.
robbery a couple, years ago. So shout out to that family. But also, this is just fresh in. 𝐀𝐄𝐃𝐒. I don't know if y'all remember him. He was one of the people that Biggie put on in the Junior Mafia.
Oh, word?
He just passed away as well.
Age?
I'm not hip to him at all.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
he
not
was, I remember him just being in the crew.
Early junior.
No, he was on Conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of cats on that
it was
album cover that you never
Chico
heard of.
and the Snakes. Basically, Biggie just said his friends, y'all want to be a rap group, and so come on, I'm gonna help you get this money.
I can't lie. I'm asleep. I wasn't. To Terry's point, that cover was.
Did he have on the yellow suit?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember. But it was just a thing where I was like, okay, I do remember that era when Junior Mafia hit and everybody was actually very curious about these people that Biggie was rapping with.
Nah, for sure.
But really, after Lil' Kim and Lil' C's, it was kind of after that. As far
Kind
as
of like Mason now.
Yeah.
the whole Harlem World movement.
Yeah.
Where he put his sister on to rap poorly.
And Blinky Blink.
Yeah. So, but let's not get too sidetracked. But shout out to Chico and his family, Brooklyn.
Indeed.
Quick question somebody asked me. With all the performances and everything that's going on, the Rock the Bells and, the Yankee Stadium, a lot of people are saying that they think Jay-Z is being uppity by not performing on these 50th anniversary shows. Do y'all care? Do you think he should be there?
Jay-Z's had a storied career.
Mhm.
He's accomplished far more than most hip-hop artists.
Most music artists, period.
Yeah, like...
Remember we talked about obligation? Remember we was talking about that?
Yeah, but I think in one sense you could say that he's stepping aside so all the people that didn't get as much props are getting them maybe a little bit more now. That's the way I would look at it.
That could be an angle.
He's got a whole display at the library in Brooklyn right now. I think that's his homage to hip-hop right now.
Yeah. That's
Plus he's following...
Yeah.
I see him in all the tour spots, watching B and his daughter. Like, he be in the crowd having a good time. So, somebody brought that up to me. Like, man, I feel like Jay should have popped out at Yankee Stadium. I feel like he's just for hip hop. He should have been there. And 50th anniversary.
Wasn't he there though? I thought he was there, but in the crowd or something. Am I missing this?
I don't quote me on that. I don't know if he's popped up, but
I didn't see that. But
a lot of people think he should have rocked, man, and did a set or something.
Honestly, I'm glad he didn't.
You are. Why you say that?
And this is, that sounds like hate, but it's just the thing of Jay-Z sucks so much air out of the room wherever he goes. And at
this event, though?
Yes, because even what Lone was saying is like, if he goes, then everybody's talking about Jay-Z, regardless of whether he performs or not. It's almost like if, it's almost like if the president shows up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been something really great that happened, but the president was there. I mean, depending on which president it is. But
yeah, good call.
But like I think that really is a thing where if Jay shows up, like, because then how do you only give Jay like 15 minutes?
You can't just give him 15.
I don't know how long the sets are, so
then he probably didn't want people asking him for money.
What? No, I mean you could.
That's probably true.
That's probably true because he's kind of like he's told stories like this. He is when you're the relative that really made it.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
If Kanye performed, he would want 16 minutes. If Jay got 15.
15 minutes, yeah.
Come on.
Everybody's like, man, what about Rockefeller? They're part of it. They are. Huge part, actually. And I just see Jay up there bringing up Beans and bringing up Chris and Eve and bringing. I'm like, first of all, everybody can't go. Let's be clear. Everybody can't go.
You know what's messed up, though? How everybody's doing these homage tours. Rockefeller can't really do a true one because they need Jay-Z to do it.
So if Rockefeller came, if it was a Rockefeller
State Property
reunion,
can go.
State Property, Young Chris and Eve and them,
Freeway and Beans,
Memphis Bleak.
Yeah, but can Beans even does Beans perform anymore like that?
I saw a video of him rocking.
I don't think I want to go to a State Property show without Beans.
Yeah.
You got me there. You want to see Rail?
No, I only care about Beanie Siegel. Maybe Freeway.
It's always room
Definitely
for Freeway.
I mean, Freeway's dope. So but.
I like the Young Guns too. They had some heat.
Yeah,
They got a couple tracks, but they can't hold a whole show.
It's not a Beanie Siegel.
No, it's not Beans. If Rockefeller came to
it's like No Limit is coming to the Vogue, but it's only like I don't know. Mia X
It's
and
like Little Italy.
Silk the Shocker. Like I'm not gonna go.
Mr. Servhorn.
Don't do Silk. Silk is a headline alone.
Because if they coming in that,
he's a
they
headline.
come in here, P at least got to get Banker's Life,
The Ghetto
or whatever
Twins.
they call it.
The Ghetto
Bridge.
Twins gonna be there.
If P ain't there, I can see it being at the Vogue.
Skullduggery gonna be in the building.
Because I promise you, if I cop No Limit tickets,
Mercedes gonna be there,
and it's Kane and Abel and Full Blooded and all them, I'm not. I'm walking
That'll
right
be
out.
at the Emerson.
Yeah, I'm walking right out.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want to
at the
see
Emerson.
Full Blooded.
It's like
I
booking
just
a
don't.
Wu-Tang show, but it's only like You God and Capadonna and a whole bunch of B-list
Kill
Wu-Tang
Army.
artists.
Kill
you know?
Army, yeah.
Here we go again.
I'm just saying, like, but they labeled as Wu-Tang.
Yeah, they say Wu-Tang is coming.
I ain't gonna hold you
But
though.
you're missing like RZA, Jizza, Old Dirty Bat. Well, obviously, but like Ghost and Ray and Method Man aren't there.
The Wu Syndicate popped up though.
No. What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
No.
Sons of Man and Wu Syndicate. I might stay in there for a little bit, J Mo.
No,
Maybe
you
10,
won't.
15 minutes.
The lies you tell.
Yeah, exactly. Because they would want money for that, and I don't see you spending money.
Yeah,
to
I'm
go
not
see that
spending
show.
money on that.
I'm definitely staying for Sons of Man over Kane and
I'm
Abel.
not even going there because I'm not going for neither one of those shows.
If you had to pick,
I don't care if it's not Cash Money. If it's No Limit, B list artists or Wu-Tang B list artists.
When you go, tell me
I'm
how
not
it was.
going to either one of them.
You wouldn't pop out for at least
No.
one.
No, why am
There
I?
you have it.
Time is sensitive, man.
Yeah, man, I got better things to do. My
What a-
bills got to be paid too.
What about Mac?
Yeah,
I'll check out
he's
Mac.
out.
Thank you. Okay, at least you honest.
But not if it's a No Limit show and only person there
You
is
told me Mac was going to be here by himself. That you'd get me there earlier than you'd get me if you said it's a No Limit show, and you told me about
Yeah.
like
some shady-
You said Sons of Funk and
Some shady stuff's going on here.
DJ Green.
You
What
don't
was
want to
that dude's
see.
name?
You don't want to see. Here pushing inside of me live.
Hell no.
Bruh. Now you just really took me back when you said Sons of Funk.
What if
Wow.
What if 3-6 Mafia came, but Paul and Juicy J didn't show up?
Absolutely not.
Crunchy Black?
Yeah, it was Crunchy. You said
Because,
3-6
I mean,
Mafia was here, but it was Crunchy Black.
Two of them in past now.
That's
Well,
true.
I'm
That's
past.
true.
Gangsta
That's true.
Boo's gone
Yep.
and Lord Infamous is gone.
That's true.
True.
And I want to say, what's his name? Koopsta? Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I can't. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm cool. If I'm going if it's
That's why
Juicy
so many
J
groups can't tour.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Because
and
somebody.
Paul.
That's
Yeah.
why when you just think about the groups that we grew up on. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm glad. Jodeci got it back together.
True.
And because it's even in groups, there's only 4 or 5 people. It's hard to make sure all of them are alive 30 years later.
I just saw a clip of Jodeci performing, and I don't even think. I think Devontae was gone. It might have been just
Thought
Dalvin,
all of them was
KC.
there.
No, I saw.
Was everybody
video
was
when
down when he was there
'cause they
too?
were here. So
Yeah, it was just here Sunday.
No, not. I'm
I
talking
heard
about
him
before that.
rehearsing while I was at the Indians game Sunday, and you could hear him rehearsing.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Yeah, but I was like, dang, Jodeci actually sound good. They got their act together. Literally.
They had a
All right.
little down period, but shout out to Jodeci.
Life
man.
happens.
But
It does.
just think about all the groups, just the group, not the affiliates who can't really tour. Wu-Tang technically can tour, but there's really something missing with No Old Dirty Bastard.
His son been
but
filling
there's so
in
many
for
of
him.
them. But there's
Yeah.
so many of them. Like there's 9 or 10 of them.
Hell,
Yeah.
even when ODB was alive, he was missing a lot of
yeah,
shows.
that's true.
True.
But bringing all the way back.
No, and no acknowledgement. And even in this, I've said this on more than one occasion. Really, I didn't see any acknowledgement of the Fat Boys, even though 2 of them have left us. But it's like, damn, nobody wants to talk about the contribution of the Fat Boys.
Heavy D
one-
as well.
That's
That's
a
one.
big-
That's one.
a
I
big,
agree.
because
I
they
agree.
never talk about the Fat Boys.
No.
But it's like, y'all left out some real pillars.
Heavy D pretty much put Uptown Records on the map by himself.
Yeah.
So he was the artist until Mary J and who else?
They
was
had
on?
Guy.
Okay,
They had
yeah,
Guy. But as far as hip hop, yeah, it was Heavy D.
absolutely.
Shoot, KC told a story where when they drove up to New York and was, trying to get the deal, and Heavy D popped his head into the office. I heard them singing, and basically was like, if you don't sign him, I'm gonna sign him. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, he was like that though. He could have literally just scooped them up and
Well, because at one point after Andre Harrell left, Heavy D was the president of Uptown.
Yeah, because I think he's the one that actually signed Soul for Real.
Soul for Real, Monifa. He had a couple people that
And he was doing some good production as well.
and plus he
production
still
and
had
stuff on.
Heavy D and the Boys, and then his solo. He had a solo record.
Vanessa Sinquest.
Vanessa, they were there early. But
Then he was on Rock. Remember that?
that's right, he
was on rock, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Joey.
But the thing is, when you put like I said, put the CDs on the table. You put the Heavy D CDs on the table.
Oh, here we go.
More than
man.
solid. More than solid.
Nah, he
discography.
did have a nice discography.
There was never a whack Heavy D and the Boys album.
He actually has some history
can't
here
argue.
in the city.
Yeah,
argue
that's
with
right.
you.
That's
So,
some
During the
sad
Black
shit.
Expo, he was performing along with Kid and Play, and one of his dancers got killed, fell off the parking ramp at Market Square Arena.
Yeah.
And that's what actually was the
Troy.
inspiration behind Troy. And a lot of people say Troy is the best hip hop song ever, which is arguably could be.
You can make that argument.
When because people always are still critical and say hip hop doesn't have any emotional depth, and I was like, well, that's because you listen to the radio.
Yeah, they don't listen
But,
to the right stuff.
When I listen, and now as I'm older, I can barely get through that song just because of people I've lost.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to listen to. At one point I just acknowledged this is great song. I love the loop. I love everything about it. Art, just as a song. But now when you get older and you've experienced a lot more things and you've experienced loss, I'm like, I can barely listen to that whole. I can't listen to like Bean's verse on This Can't Be Life.
Man.
Like there are certain songs that take you to a different place once you've lived more life.
Oh, yeah.
So and
Yeah, there's songs I can never listen to again right now. Like as soon as it comes on, it's like, nah, I'm
no,
cool.
we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, music doesn't do that for me.
Really?
Really? You don't have any records? You ain't got to
No.
share them, but just.
And I know, no, I don't. None that make me like super emotional like that. I mean, there's songs that I think that are like really great, but
Fox got one.
Oh, man. Out of Fox legend.
And I have to listen to that because I'm his DJ. But man,
Man, right.
that song
You can't get around that one, huh?
every time.
You can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna take a minute here.
We ain't gonna do this one today.
Yeah, he'd be like, yeah, that we
Yeah,
are.
we definitely gonna do this one. Get the people what they want. So, you guys are Jay Moore. You're very popular, man.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, man. I woke up and saw you on a TV show, man, on a documentary.
TV show.
Yeah, saw you on TV, man. I saw a documentary called Ladies First.
You
a
were in the
story-
shot too.
Yeah, I was in there.
Yeah, you were there.
Ladies First, a story, women in hip hop. I believe there are 3 current episodes on this.
I think it's
And
5.
there's
5.
I've only watched.
I've watched all the
3,
way. I think 3 episodes
No,
up
it's
to about
4.
the 16-minute mark.
4.
Yeah, I
I
watched
watched
until,
all of them yesterday.
watched until I saw myself, and then I
No,
was
what
like,
happened
turn
at the?
this off.
What
I did
happened?
too. Did you really?
No, I actually did. I was like, all right.
I turned it off. Since I saw that, I was like, man, I don't want to watch
I mean,
this
like,
again.
it's so far it's well produced and
Very good show.
it's
Hold on,
really
hold on.
good.
What
then,
what
like,
happened at the 16th minute mark?
Well,
Well, all of a
What
sudden,
happened?
Saw Meg Thee Stallion talking about her contract,
Uh huh.
and then all of a sudden I hear a very familiar voice,
Yeah.
and I see a very familiar face.
Oh.
and setting.
Yeah, talking about how she owes a certain amount. She doesn't keep the lion's share of the revenue that's generated from her music. And I was like, that's familiar. I was like, oh, that's me. And people are hitting me up. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was Sunny Paradise. I saw he was like, congratulations on, Major 7th and Jay Moore being in this Netflix documentary. And I'm thinking,
I saw it and I was like, huh?
And I was like, huh? I was like, it's news to me, you know.
Definitely news to me.
That's why when y'all sent it to me, I'm like, what is this? I didn't.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing. It was just that still shot, I believe, or video, and I'm like, where is this from?
Yeah.
I tried to do a screen record, but you can't screen record Netflix.
Oh, I can.
Well, I don't have that privilege.
All
But I couldn't screen record it. But I found it by logging into my computer and just took like a still or whatever. And when I watched it, I couldn't believe it, man. I'm like, this really is us. I'm pretty sure they didn't reach out to us to use this.
No, not pretty sure.
Oh, 100% sure that they definitely didn't reach out to use our footage. And it's from 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it?
Yeah,
Because
20.
Yeah, that's why I was confused because when Sonny shared it, I saw it too. I was really tired. I was telling Mike, we talked about this when we were working on some stuff a few days ago, and I was like, I was exhausted, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and I just happened to look at Facebook, and I saw that Sonny had shared it. Like, man, it's cool to wake up and see Jay Moore and Maja in this Netflix documentary. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm like, all right, what's going on?
Right.
So I was like, okay, there's a women's lady documentary. So I watched the first 2 episodes, didn't see anything. Then I went to bed, and then I woke up to everything. But
no, because I think like the next day, my homegirl Mel had sent, like, somehow she had recorded it, but then like, there are people who don't realize that you're aware, and like they're sending you congratulations during the course of the day. And like, oh, I just saw you on TV, or I was like, was that you? You know, because they want to make sure. And like, wow, in a way, I'm like, it was cool, but at the same time, it's very bittersweet because, first of all, had I just known, I'd have said some things like, hey, check the documentary out. I'm in minute 16 of episode 3 or whatever.
Right.
But there, you feel some type of way about your face and your voice being used in something that's generating profit, and no one even asked you
and they
if
miscredited
it was cool.
it. And they miscredited it.
And so, it's almost like we're almost on the other side of like somebody getting sampled and they didn't clear the sample.
Somebody made that analogy on a post I had. In a sense. It's just like sampling records.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So, I mean, like I said, it's in a way a cool moment, but at the same time, like, I'm thinking they could have pulled anything from any part of any one of our shows, and they could have had us out here looking crazy.
Yeah,
true.
Luckily, it was something that was reasonable, because what if they picked a section where, like, I said, well, Meg's album, the last album wasn't any good, or whatever, and they just think we're hating on women. It could have went a whole nother way. I'm glad it didn't.
I thought that it definitely had a possibility.
Yeah, and so, like I said, it's
not that we hate women or anything.
Yeah, but it's just like, but we're critical from an artistic standpoint of everybody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you criticize women, people think, oh, these guys hate women.
I got so many messages, and I'm, just paraphrasing here, but they had the vibe of, we out the hood now. Y'all made it. This is amazing. Life is about to change. Aren't you so happy?
Really?
And I'm like, no. And furthermore,
help me quit my job.
Right. and when you put so much time into branding something, you want your name to be associated with anything that's shared from your product. That's just common sense. When you build a name up and you work on a brand for so long, you want that to be associated with anything that anybody sees. If not, what's the point of building a brand?
It would have made me feel a little bit better if they at least said New Old Heads Podcast.
That's all. Right. That right there, I'd have been like, hey.
Because now people can look us up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Easier.
And Lone showed me when we were over here working, he showed me in the archives, went back and saw the footage. In the corner, over there on the left, says New Old Heads Podcast, the whole video. Go through the description. It says New Old Heads Podcast in the description. So it's not like everything just said bringing down the band everywhere. It's clear. It flashes up New Old Heads Podcast. So there's like 3 different ways that you can see that it's the New Old Heads Podcast. And it was just bittersweet when I saw the bringing down the band. It's just like, I literally put my hand on my face like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And then I called Terry probably after I saw your inbox, and a few more people hit me up, and I hit him up, and we just both were like, man, they messed up the name.
Messed up the name. And what's crazy is it was so fast that they could have sampled it the right way without having to credit us as far as monetarily. But even if that's the case, at least get our names right so that if people want to find out more or see more of our shows, you can look it up that way.
Yep.
I don't know.
I felt some kind of way because there was They couldn't see the whole logo, but it was, someone who was no longer a sponsor of the show.
That part
irked me as well.
That was,
part.
the fact that they're getting this international look and they are no longer breaking.
So cut the check.
And it was obvious. Like you can't miss them, we'll say. Couldn't miss them in the shot.
Yep, but that's more reasoning to partner with the new old heads. So if you're out there,
we were featured in a Netflix documentary,
which is I think number 6 or number 7th most viewed thing on all of Netflix this week.
Is it ranked that high?
Yes, it is.
Does this mean that like if it does awards, we can get like Emmys and stuff?
Hey,
I want mine.
I want to see the end of the episode if we got a credit on the end at least.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
If it says new old head somewhere in the credits, I want to know that.
I mean, even as somebody who literally owns Breaking Down the Band, I was upset. So
that's when you know.
It was one of those things like when I found out, I was like, all right, cool. They probably just used us a little bit, but they didn't reach out to us. I was like, technically, they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to reach out to us, because
but it would be cool if they did.
It would be cool if they did. It would be cool if they did, and like you guys said, like you said, Jay, like when I was watching, I was like, how are they going to quote us out of context, or what are they going to use to make the doc look good? I was like, it's not going to be whatever it is. It's not going to be a good clip. Like no matter what it is, like I came into it with a pessimist attitude, and then of course I watched the clip and was like, oh, it's a good clip, and then I just was staring at the name Bringing Down the Band. Like
I couldn't get past it.
I couldn't get past it.
And I understand that it's probably somebody that just didn't dot the I's and cross the T's.
It's probably some intern work.
It was just like, remember a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
And they used DJ Bandcamp's picture for the Bandcamp music site.
Yep.
Which wasn't right.
It's the same thing. But I don't know, man. It was frustrating because it's like I understand fair use. I deal with it all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think technically there's probably nothing we can do about it. But the fact that they kind of misquoted us is,
I think that's
not misquoted us, but just mislabeled us is it's just disheartening, especially from my perspective. Like the entire episode is about the exploitation of black women.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of sat with me funny. It's just like at the same time, and Dream Hampton's the one that produced this one, if you're familiar with her. And at the same time where you're making all these arguments about exploitation of people and artists and an industry, and then you like legitimately don't reach out to somebody for it's not like this is like a YouTube documentary.
Right.
This is a Netflix documentary. And I understand that probably the main reason they didn't reach out to us and maybe other people is because once you reach out, you start to create that's when the conversations start about, do you want to use this footage and how much do you want to pay for it? And everybody has a budget, and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't reach out, you can lean on fair use in that aspect if you do it in the right manner. And they did technically do it in the right manner. But at the same time, it's like the whole thing about exploitation and you're kind of exploiting.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, goal of this documentary is to make money.
Yeah, and they sold it to Netflix. And not like this is not like a PBS special.
So it's already made the money.
It's made the money, and they used the least path of resistance to get to whatever the end goal is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever we got to do, let's scrape the barrel. Just let's get through it. Clearly, this was not properly thought out. It's more of we're just looking and we're searching, algorithm searching, we surfing, boom, we got it. Let's throw it in there and bow, get to the bread.
Yeah, I think it was an oversight. I don't think it was intentionally.
No.
I don't think it was something that was intentionally done to harm us or anything. It's just what it is.
I know
representation matters.
We say that word all the time, but
again,
this is we talk about capitalism. But remember, we were sitting there, and I'm like, man, this is one of the examples where it makes perfect sense for what you described.
Their goal for this entire documentary is, yes, to create some really dope thing for hip hop.
Yes.
But at the same time, if you have the chance to, bring up people within your culture at the same time, which they obviously thought that we were doing something right because they put us in there.
True.
You'd think that maybe you would do your due diligence on something where you're going to sell something to make a lot of money off of.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Even when they were talking about some of the female artists who were getting left out of things.
Mm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of all ties together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but from what I did watch up to the 16-minute mark in episode 3, it was a pretty good documentary.
No, the documentary itself, very well done. from what I've had a chance to watch so far. So shout out to them. I think it's necessary. It's nice on the anniversary of hip hop. I get all that part. We're not hating on that. The documentary is fire, but
no, I thought it was really good. I thought it was put together well.
Yeah.
Other than it was weird because it seems like ours was the only outside influence that was in the whole documentary.
Because
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't start pulling stuff from Joe Budden or
no, they did. Well, the only thing they used, but he was in there. They used Snoop talking about pretty much
about somebody,
talking bad about the WAP song essentially.
Yeah.
So it was him saying that, and then they were using his own stuff against him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So at least that didn't happen
my
to
one
us.
criticism of this, and this is something I brought up whenever these conversations come up about how, you know, basically men act in hip hop as far as like the content, not as far as what happens in the actual offices and, you know, the exploitation and not taking women seriously as executives, because I understand that's a real thing and it's a problem still. But as someone who's been, you know, outside for the better part of 2 decades, even more at this point, you know, these records that are exploitive and demeaning towards women only work because women like them.
Exactly.
And, you know, that might be controversial to say, because I remember when the whole tip drill thing came out and it was like, men need to stop playing these songs and and stop making these songs. And no one wants to put the onus on women to stop dancing to these songs.
We were definitely outside and got a clear-cut view as to how that song rang off.
You know, and so now it's at a point where that's almost like the secret formula to where, you know what, we'll just skip the middleman and having men be remarkably disrespectful. In a way, we'll just go ahead and disrespect ourselves and make that the chorus of the song.
Right.
And the women will have the same reaction. You know, I've always said if women control the culture of what happens in these spaces. If women said, okay, we don't want to be disrespected, we don't want to hear any of this nasty stuff, bees ain't ish, whatever. Like, because I remember when that song would ring off and women would be out there on the dance floor when when Snoop and Dre did that.
That's
record.
True.
Women did not walk off the dance floor when that would come on.
This filth.
Yeah, and so like you can say, oh, these men are irresponsible. It's disrespectful to women. It's only disrespectful to women because that's what women respond to. Because if women responded to what Rhapsody was doing, we'd play Rhapsody in the club. Everybody talks about how much all these women talk about, oh, we love Rhapsody, this and that. No, you don't. Because when I went to go see Rhapsody, you know who it was? It was white people and dudes.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bunch of black women in there. But I guess guarantee when Sexy Red come to town.
Oh. Talking about that brown thing.
And so that's going to be a situation. So, even when it's the baby or any male artist who's over here talking real disrespectful and crazy, you couldn't keep women out of there.
What's the saying goes? Sex sells. So now they just took the ball back, put it in their court.
True.
Because honestly, right now, women are kind of on the top of hip hop, but it's like they're all using the same formula. And I know we get backlash for saying that, but it's the absolute truth. Every top female artist right now is using the exact same formula, exact same content behind different bars, different beats, in a different voice.
Look, man, you can't fight capitalist exploitation with capitalism. No matter what it is. It doesn't matter who's getting exploited. If somebody else runs into that role, if women are controlling it, it's still exploitation. It's just people don't pay attention to that aspect of it. It's just what it is.
You know, so I mean, like I said, when you talk to DJs, you know, they would rather not play these records. I'm talking about the male DJs. You know, they would.
You've heard some.
They would rather play the hip hop that they like. When most DJs,
they don't want to hear that though.
Yeah, but you know, when you're in these spaces, in the business I'm in, basically my whole thing is to make sure that black women 21 to say 31 enjoy themselves in certain spaces.
Right.
Okay. We make sure that we have the drinks that they like. We play the songs that they like. We have the lighting profile that, you know, is most conducive to them feeling safe.
Yeah.
You know, and if they didn't want to hear these records, we wouldn't play them. I'll take even further behind the curtain. When I was working in commercial radio for Clear Channel, which now iHeart, I always got to specify that. I remember sitting down with the operations manager. The operations manager is basically the person who's above the program director of your local radio station. Sometimes he is the program director, except he's programming more than one station. they have all these charts and graphs and everything about, you know, the songs that are coming in and how they're researching. Because once again, it's not about feel, it's about research, because it's about what you can sell. And
analytics.
Yeah, and analytics. And it's broken up by men and women. Okay. I'll never forget this. He took all the analytics that had to do with men's likes and dislikes of what was researching.
Basura.
And he threw it away. Basically dropped it in the trash can. Everything that you hear on the radio is based on almost basically 95, if not 99%, is based on the likes and dislikes of women. So when you hear a song, be like, "Ooh, why are they playing that nasty song? That's terrible." It's because women like it.
Let me ask you this question. I got an interesting take on this then. If men are in the position of power in this aspect, let's say the clubs, and let's say Clear Channel and the radio, what if men just forced the other music, you know, didn't play that other stuff at all? Even though
researched well,
yes,
they'd be looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, you know, there's a burden on men to perform and make sure they keep that money rolling in. Once again, we talk about capitalism. I think it will be. It doesn't matter what those men like, because, you know, the research tells them this is what the ladies like.
So where does it start then?
I'm going to go ahead and put the responsibility on the women. Ladies, if you are really, truly offended, you want this tide of disrespectful, nasty music to stop, you got to start walking off the dance floor.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So until you start
R.
walking,
Kelly is still getting played.
Until you start, exactly. Until you, and it's women out there dancing. And so if you hear something that's so nasty and so foul and so disrespectful, but you like, when you put your drink down and be like, "Girl, let's get to the dance floor,"
it's not going to happen.
I'm sorry, but like, you cannot ask men to go against their own financial interests when they have the burden of performance to make sure they stay employed.
There's grown women right now that if a Too Short song comes on, they're going to sing it word for word. Loud. All the way with it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
When you could be in a room full of women and yell, "What's my favorite word?"
And they're
going to say exactly what they need to say.
They're going to say it. But, I mean.
So,
mind you, people are having a good time. Okay. And because, but, you know, to a certain extent, if you want a certain kind of change to happen, you gotta put your part, you gotta take your party hat off and decide, okay, if we're not going to do this anymore, we have to be dedicated to it.
So there's no responsibility on the people playing the music and all this stuff to play "Milk This Cow" by Capadon or anything like that.
Why do you always bring up that record?
I can't wait. That's what I've been waiting on.
I don't even know what this song sounds like. It was my
I want you. Please play "Milk This Cow" like 1:30 in the morning.
That doesn't work in any setting, though.
Let's take "Milk This Cow." Let's take "Milk This Cow."
Yeah, we can use "Milk This Cow" for the example.
No,
okay.
But seriously though,
we ain't going to want to hear that in the club.
It doesn't matter what the song is. My point is like, is there any responsibility on the purveyors of power, or is it all on? Or are you saying that the women have pretty much the power in this aspect? They just don't necessarily realize they do, or is it just one of those things where it's just like a catch-22 to where
you do what the market will bear? And at this point, like, I would love, like, at the very, like, basically at the end, at the beginning of the night before anybody gets to my certain establishment, everybody has to listen to some Killer Mike. But, you know, it just doesn't work as good as I think the songs are, as good as the songs are.
Yeah, don't say I think. Yeah, those
as
are
good
songs.
As the songs are. Even the song that he got from DJ Paul.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we tried to sneak that one in, you know, but it just doesn't. It doesn't work.
It's not nasty
women
enough.
don't like it.
Not nasty
enough. Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, men, we're always going to do what we can to impress women, or pretty much stomach what they like because you want them around. You don't want to walk into a spot just full of dudes all the time. That's just not how it works. You want them to feel comfortable, and you pretty much appease to them most of the time, and you sprinkle in a little bit of what you like on top of that.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's just a quality of a man that, you know what I'm saying, chasing a woman. Not even necessarily chasing a woman, but that's just one of the qualities that we possess, the dynamic of it. You know what I'm saying? So with them liking the vulgar music from the women, is just somebody that looks like them and saying it now. So that's the reason why it's so popular, and it's going to continue to be popular. And they're still not going to care about the socially conscious rap because they didn't care about it when the men were saying it. So, of course, they're not going to care about it when Rhapsody or Bahamadia or whoever else is talking about it, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just one of them things.
Think about when you talk about Jay Moore's point about the power of women, right? Mm-hmm. Think about what we saw with the list that had Shorty Ice Spice 50th on
That's
New York
just
rappers.
nuts.
Like she was 50th all time.
New York rappers.
She was 50th the greatest New York rappers of all time.
That's
on
crazy.
Complex.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah,
that
like
speaks
6 songs.
But that speaks to the power that you're talking about.
Well, yeah, because it's like.
Now, granted, it's Complex. Now we know. Come on now, we didn't chopped up many of their lists. But when I saw that, I said, "You have got to, you got to be kidding me."
And people say that we do clickbait.
Come on, man.
Bro, yeah, we the clickbait people now.
It's just that we put a face behind it, and you can see it come out of our mouths in real time.
Yeah.
So
And we actually mean what we say.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The boardroom people, we can't see the boardroom people that put these trash lists together, right?
That's a different subject.
You
Not
don't-
really, but kind of.
Yeah, you're going to give the
but
50th
yes.
greatest New York rapper to somebody that doesn't, who has maybe an EP.
moment music, man, and
Yeah.
it like 10 years from now, she will not be mentioned on that list.
That's just where we are, man. I mean, like I said, I appreciate what I've watched so far. Other than the fact that we've been,
It was a good show.
We were
Yeah, it's a good show.
misquoted, and I
Very
think
good show.
We should have gotten properly credited for our work, which they used in their work. But when they go into how disrespectful these male artists and like I said, I came in here and kicked NWA's back in for some of the things that they said.
And I
so
disagreed.
You weren't on the show.
I know.
You weren't on this show.
I disagreed from afar.
The things that I said, you can't agree with.
Yeah.
The examples I gave, you can't agree with. But like I said, when you talk about the disrespect, that it's almost like women will say, well, this is empowering for us now. And so, the argument I'll make, so you're empowered by acting like the men who have been disrespectful to you all this time, and now you're taking
or who took your power.
Like I said, but I think it's different. Where you're like now saying we can be just as nasty as these men who we think are terrible people, and it's like, is that really what you want to take from manhood? Is the worst part is the things you find most distasteful about how men act, and that's how you empower yourself. But once again, I'm probably getting into a place where I'm definitely gonna get women mad at me for even saying something like that out loud. But it is what it is, and like I said, I see how the culture moves in real time.
Well, in case you haven't been paying attention, we have been making a lot of people mad. So I guess
It's different when you make women mad.
Yeah, you're right.
It's different when you make women.
You're right. That's a different type of mad. I'm with you when you're right, but just so you know, there's thousands of grown men that are mad at us right now. Y'all hang in there though.
Women, go ahead. You know what? If you want to be like men, go ahead and join in and be mad at us too.
Yeah, just like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Though. That's all I'm
gotta
saying.
go back into character.
Yeah.
The guy in the gang
gang guy.
Nipsey Hussle shirt.
Oh no, not.
They let anybody podcast. Who are these guys?
Yeah,
is that your man's? Oh man, I saw a lot of.
Yeah. Who are we? Yeah, we're on.
Y'all need to just go back and watch the whole show because context matters. And,
now we talked about how
that's today's
the Art
word.
of War was trash.
that's just is what it is. We already know that. And if somebody feels a certain way about that, then kick rocks. But as far as like some of these the clips and takes or hot takes, like y'all like to call them,
I hate that phrase.
I do too.
I know you do.
Nothing I do is a hot take.
It's not a hot take.
Yeah.
It's a whole conversation that was reduced to a time slot for Instagram or TikTok or you know what I'm saying, one of these socials. So in order for you to actually get the whole context of the conversation, you should probably watch the whole show.
I was told multiple times, y'all capping. I'm like, you did not
Watch the whole.
just
like when we had.
I could clarify it right now. Clarify my Timbaland comments.
Yeah,
I'll clarify
clarify
it just for everybody.
we got you back now.
Everything that I said, I mean.
Let's get that. Thank you. Yeah, look right in the camera and tell. Make sure they know that.
Did Byron, shouts to Brother to the Night, did
Yes,
he
sir.
gas up the whole situation a little bit much?
A little bit.
Oh, he
maybe.
jumped out the window. Yeah,
Maybe.
he did.
Shouts to the homie.
Yep, that's the homie.
But I stand by everything that I said. And I also stand by all the respect that I gave Timbaland. And I also stand by all the praise that I gave Timbaland and everything that I said. But if you break it down, the nuanced conversation of Timbaland's work, when he does a whole project, is great. Mm-hmm. But when he is that guest producer that comes in from the outside, it's like somebody's like, one, you have to understand the era that we're in, right?
Right.
And the era was, I need one of these, I need one of these, I need one of these, and I need a Timbaland. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. Timbaland is the pioneer of that, in my opinion. So I'm not disrespecting that aspect. But when you go back to it, when you listen to a lot of these projects now, my argument is that those I Need a Timbalands, those beats do not
fit.
They're not cohesive with the rest of the albums most of the time. And I would even say this, people like, what records? I don't think Dirt Off Your Shoulders fits. I think it's a good record. But to me, when I listen to that, even when you listen to that beat by itself, I'm not a fan of it.
I don't think
There's nothing wrong with
Whole Lot
what
Jovito doesn't fit on the blueprint.
I like that record.
I like it too, but it doesn't fit on the blueprint.
Yeah. He's got one of those. Which record did he had? He had like 4 records, and I think it was the one with Big Pimpin' on it. He produced like 4 of them. But there's like a couple records that he produced on there that I think fit really well. But I don't even think Big Pimpin' fits. I think that is a complete left. I think it's a dope record for what it is. But it's just like it's just so different when you hear Big Pimpin' than when you hear the rest
ghetto.
of
it's just
so
funny
different.
though, because everybody that's arguing the point aren't mentioning any hip hop records from him. They all say Aaliyah
and Genuine,
Missy, Aaliyah. I already say Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
What's
Nelly
her name?
Furtado.
They always say those artists.
And part of that reason was because when I made the clip, because we do all this ourselves.
Talk to him.
When I clipped that, I just didn't think about it. The fact that we were talking about his hip hop, or that I was speaking from the angle of his hip hop related stuff, not his Justin Timberlake, not his Aaliyah, not his Missy, not his stuff.
If y'all actually watch the episode, I myself say, whoa. What about Missy? What about Genuine? Brother to the Night says, no, we talking about hip hop. So cool. Let's keep it in the context of that. Now, if we want to be honest, to me, Timbaland's always been one of my favorite. His originality, the way he makes his approach to it. He's always been he's always been a dope creative. But I had this conversation with someone who told us we was capping that didn't watch the episode.
Of course.
And I said, dog, when you think about Timbaland, all the people that Terry named when we were talking about outside of hip hop and what they were bringing up in the comments, that's some of the stuff that's pushed to the forefront of my mind from his work. Is that great stuff with Missy, the fire stuff with Aaliyah. Right? Like Justin Timberlake, Nelly Furtado, those records are fire. Like when I think about Tim, it's like, yo, he really got a very versatile bag. Now, yeah, he can pop out with Hove and, do this and that. But those records are the one that make me put him at GOAT level status. Absolutely. Because he was able to cultivate those projects, bro. Yeah, that's not a diss.
No, if you take Aaliyah and you take his early work, you take the Missy stuff, you take the Justin Timberlake, even Bubba Sparks. I would take him out because we were talking about, or at least I was talking specifically about when Tim injected himself on a project.
Yes.
Not when he did a whole project together. And I even said, I think that Timbaland stuff sounds better when it's all Timbaland. So then it's all Timbaland. It doesn't sound like some random left field type thing coming on over here. When you take all those greatness that he's done as a collective, and then you just focus on the stuff that he was just selected as a producer, it's different.
I agree.
It's not the same. And I'm sorry if you don't agree.
We get a Timbaland beat. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it was.
That's what it was. It was like, get a Timbaland beat, get a Swiss Beats beat. All right, let's do something for the West Coast.
Pharrell.
Let's get
Battle Cat.
And for the mixtapes, let's get something from Premiere.
Yeah.
It was very much piecemeal like that.
It's like an era of that.
Especially after Life After Death.
That was a formula.
It was like, we got it.
Whoever's the hot producer is, we got to get him to make at least one track on every album.
Yeah.
I need one of those. That was the era. Let me get one of those.
And you had to be that artist in order to get one of those.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the budgets had to be crazy for you to get 4 or 5 of those.
Come on, man.
You know, if you could get Pharrell, Timbaland, Swiss Beats, and Premiere all on your album, that's a budget. So, but this is when records was selling too.
But nah, man.
Unless it's Nostradamus. We've talked about that. But
we don't want to bring that up.
Yeah.
Project Windows was fire. But Long, to your point, I'm glad you clarified that. And you've always, since I've known you, said that about Dirt Off Your Shoulders. Like you've always said that.
And people can like it. It's cool.
I mean,
when I listened to that beat by itself, and I even went back because shouts to CAD because he's the one that sent me the Fade to Black doc to watch.
Yeah.
And you can hear that beat isolated.
Yep.
That beat is not good, man. I don't care.
You got to understand what kind of speakers they was listening to that on.
And then in the background, there's like this phaser. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Probably sounded good in that studio.
It probably sounded good, but if you turn anything up loud enough and the drums are nice, it's going to sound good. And Timbaland is good and the best at
What's crazy in that same
scene. Drum programming is stupid.
In that same scene, like he played the beat for what later on it became the Potion.
Now that beat is fire. Now that beat is fire. I like that one. But I'm with you, Lone. Yeah, thank you for
clarifying.
Yeah, sounds like you
It's
watched
whatever.
the episode.
I didn't go back and watch it. No,
No, you just
He did
read it.
have some good stuff for Ludacris on. Ludacris is back for the first time.
Agreed.
it's not across the board.
No, it's not.
It's not across the board like that. But I said that in the episode
But
too.
okay, here's another example. What was it? Venus versus Mars off of
that was
Blueprint.
Three. Was it 3?
Yeah, it was.
It was like, I just remember immediately hearing that song, being like, "What the hell?"
That still doesn't mean he isn't great.
No,
Exactly.
it isn't. But it's like sometimes. But when we make the statement, sometimes he has the corny beat on the album. That's what we're talking. We can point to specific things.
Come on.
That's what it is. I mean,
I thought you did a great job, buddy. Thought you did a great job, buddy.
yeah, I probably
And you know what the reaction to this part of the podcast will be?
What's that?
Shut your white ass up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. Take that hat off.
Hey,
no.
crickets.
I'm gonna wear a different one every single episode from here on out.
Yeah.
It's gonna look exactly the same though.
All right.
There we go.
That'll make him mad.
I have 37 more of these.
Gang.
Just take it, take it off and throw it at the camera. All right, man. Let's.
I'm not even gonna clip this up. So I mean,
I love the explanation though. So
All they had to do is watch the original video.
that's it.
yeah. Episode 300 and I don't know,
Somewhere back in there.
49. Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
All right, man. We are back. Shout out to the partners as always. Shout out to the chat. We've been running my mouth. I hadn't even looked at the chat. I'm sure. Hopefully, everybody's still in there rocking. This actually happened in real time last show. We got a chance to hear the snippet of the great Melle Mel's diss track to Eminem.
Oh my God.
So I thought it was bad audio, but Jay Moore said, "No, this is the real audio." So
Gunshots going on.
yeah, and he's backtracked, gentlemen. He has released a long statement, and he has apologized for his diss record. He said the execution fell short.
So the execution,
really?
The execution wasn't excellent.
excellent.
But also, didn't he just start off his rap by saying no apologies?
Yes.
Okay, his rap wasn't bad.
It was terrible.
Ooh, let Pee Wee Herman in the building.
Come on, it was terrible, man.
I don't know.
They let Pee Wee Herman in the Hall of Fame.
Was it really that bad?
It
though?
was that bad.
I mean, I think the framing of it was like bad.
Oh my God.
Like trying to battle Eminem with that type of. But
That alone is bad.
But by itself, it wasn't.
Man, it was
horrible.
exhaustingly bad. I had this. I'm in a hip hop group on Facebook, and this dude made this long post about Melle Mel and how he went at Eminem and he did what he was supposed to do and blah blah blah.
And it's for the 50th years of hip hop.
Man.
And
You don't like how they try to tie it in?
Man, killing him in the comments. I had to comment. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Can I play devil's advocate?
Go ahead.
So,
How?
follow me now. Follow me. I'm going to play devil's advocate. So,
got me defending Melle Mel over here.
hey, shout out to Melle Mel, OG legend. We ain't going to deny that. But let me play devil's advocate. So, hip hop was founded off, hip hop has always been competitive, correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, technically, 50th anniversary, one of the pioneers and, father figures, if you want to call it, a hip hop, comes out and gives out a little smoke. That's on brand with hip hop, no?
Man, that was
You had all this
that
time
was
to
a
make an
little
album,
22.
a song.
Now,
that was a little 22 that was getting shot in Harlem Nights. Everybody else is coming out with 4.5s and 9s and Glocks.
I'm just
and then
saying,
you come
though.
out with that little pop. You can't do that. And he don't want to have himself in that light on the 50th anniversary of hip hop either.
Yeah,
So let me
because
ask-
that's just not. It's not a good look.
So let me ask y'all this. Does Melle Mel, the OG, have real ones around him that told him, take
No.
that down?
Clearly
Is that
not.
what it is?
Absolutely
No,
not.
I'm talking about pulling it down and apologizing.
No, he knew it was trash.
Like, he saw the
He's been
response.
sending the response, so he had to double back like, I done messed up.
So you think he pulled it down on his own? I think somebody
he
told
didn't pull
him.
it down. I don't think
Oh, okay.
it's still out there.
He's always been this very supremely arrogant person. So, like, do you really think that his people could tell him anything
ain't telling him
otherwise,
nothing.
anyways?
I think I'm not even gonna go there either because I don't know. So
Okay.
I'm gonna just leave that alone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either, but
Look,
Method
the thing
Man
is-
said on when he was on Math Hoffa's show, he used that as a reference. He was like, man, Melle Mel, he used to always hate on us back in the 90s.
Yeah,
He don't respect any of the newer
He
artists.
thinks everything that happened after 1983 is null and void.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to your point, Lone, I never thought about it like that. Who's going to really tell him to...
I don't know. I mean,
I thought he might have some real people around him that was like, nah, fam.
Look, man, for all the stuff, all the interviews I've seen where he's talking about everything. Jay-Z,
Yep.
Kendrick Lamar, nobody listens to that. Eminem. Okay, if you gonna talk crazy like this, then you need to get in the studio and it needs to be
fire.
Phenomenal.
Yes, and then when it sounded like he was playing the song through real audio player, and then some of the parts where like I was like, this is just
gunshots and snares.
I was like, no, like because the thing is, I was like, oh, Melle Mel got a joint out. Let's see what that, because I was actually interested to see how it was going to go.
I wasn't checking for it.
Wait a minute, Jay Moore, if I'm not mistaken, man,
because I know
didn't you hold your phone up and hit play and start laughing?
Because I thought it was going to be like, because it was immediately bad, and I was like,
this man counted to 8.
It was just like,
he did.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that was in there, wasn't it? I thought you was trolling, but I just thought about it.
That's a woosah moment for me, man. It's like I don't need that energy. I just don't.
It's not like, because if it was really something that could have grabbed the moment, somebody talking about it, they. At one point, Machine Gun Kelly got a little battery in his back because he talked about Eminem. This didn't help Melle Mel at all.
His next album was a rock album.
True.
If that says anything.
He dipped his toe in and got right on out. Yeah.
But with this record, had they done an upgraded kit on the production,
no,
I think that would have helped tremendously.
It sounded like
just give it the update. Just give somebody give a little something more modern from a production standpoint. That would have been much more easy to digest.
It sounded like they recorded this on a 46 with like 8 megs of RAM.
Maybe on your phone. It didn't sound super horrible when I listened to it on the speakers, but
there's 2 versions of that song.
Are there?
Maybe I listened to the rough.
One of them was rough. The one I think DJ Moore played.
When I heard it, I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world, but it didn't seem like it was like anywhere up to what he was trying to tackle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And I mean, it's Eminem, man. Like, don't.
Like, his grandkids gotta let him know that.
Be like, come on, Pop, let's put the microphone down.
Yeah, let's not do that. Why don't you put one of us on the track? Let us try. Might be better.
One of the grandkids might be able to go.
Might be able to.
All right, man. Well, it's self-awareness, so he pulled.
I mean, it didn't stop his shine. Like, he still got out there and performed at basically all the hip hop events.
As he should.
And he's a pioneer.
Yeah, he's a legend. Yeah, as he should.
MC Shan even apologized to Nas.
Now, I didn't see that.
I didn't see because it happens so quick. What did MC Shan say about Nas?
I can't remember exactly what he said.
They've had issues though.
But he had some words for Nas and he
both from the bridge though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that seems like
Shan needs some teeth.
I wouldn't expect it. I didn't.
You know what though?
I didn't see that coming.
to the Mel thing too. Like, even going all the way back, that kind of sparked this whole thing. What Melle Mel said about Eminem is not incorrect.
Oh, about the fan base and
he's still not incorrect.
You know what? What he said is what we've been talking about on the show for the last 6 years.
100%.
So it's not like we disagree with him.
No, it's accurate. So it's just that
it just wasn't a good song.
Yeah.
Hey man. Hey, I'm all about accountability. He took accountability, Jay Moore,
or whoever wrote it for him.
No, he wrote that.
You think so?
No, he wrote that.
He wrote that.
It sounded like
think so?
Yeah. It sounded like 1982. All of the bars. That flow has not been updated in
No. I'm talking about the apology letter. Sorry, I'm talking about the apology letter.
AI wrote that, and it wasn't even. Now I'm talking about Allen Iverson.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very well said. It's very well written.
Just like when Neo, somebody crafted an apology for him. He's like, I don't care nothing about what this is talking about. Let me tell you how I really feel.
Yeah.
We might have that same moment with Melle Mel coming up.
Let's talk hip hop sampling. I think Brother Terry shared this one in the Discord.
Brother Terry.
I told you I'm changing, man.
All right.
Yeah. So the headline on OK Player says, has hip hop sampling gotten lazy? They use some reference points like Corey LeRae's Players. It says, that features Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5's Message.
That's why Melle Mel keep talking crazy. Because he's still getting these checks.
No, the Robinson family is getting those checks.
Well, never mind.
Thank you. Her follow-up, Make My Day, flipped 𝐀𝐁𝐿, Pump Up the Jam. And then they mentioned Jack Harlow's First Class. That's a Fergie joint. called Glamorous. Nicki Minaj, Super Freaky Girl, which was obviously Super
James.
Freak. Rick James, Saucy Santana's Booty, which was Beyonce's Crazy in Love. And NLE Chopper's Is Getting Hot was sampled, obviously.
That was not good, man. Did you guys?
awful.
Did you hear that record?
Yeah, I did.
No, I didn't even hear it. I just seen the hoopla about it.
Yeah, it's basically party song.
It was like a weird
A
remix.
shooting song.
It sounded like a weird remix.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Literally.
Yeah.
So alone from a producer standpoint with this, because we always talk about flipping samples, obviously, and sometimes you want to pay homage, and that happens sometimes through flipping samples. But do you think they have a point in terms of from a lazy standpoint? Because some of these are blatant with the way that the production is done. It's not much to it. It's damn near the record.
Reminds me just like the Puffy era.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Puffy was going and taking like full songs, not really, like
Take hits from the 80s. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what his son is doing now.
True.
That's what this from a pop standpoint, like a lot of these records here, I can hear that. But that is what Puffy was doing. And then once you start digging a little deeper into some of the producers and the records that are more hip hop related and less pop culture related, you start I think people are still chopping and stuff. I think it's just changed. But for this, to me, it just reminds me of Puffy.
So is lazy a good word for them to use? Is that a...
Yeah, actually.
I think it is.
Okay.
I'm good with lazy.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm
think
good
it
with
is
lazy.
too, because to me, they're literally sampling the sample.
Right.
So if I've already did the work and done the sample, and now you're just taking exactly what I did and doing it again, that's lazy to me at the end of the day. Like even what's the name, Hitmaker, every one of his songs is a song that was already sampled. He just sampled it again and maybe put a different
Drum
kick
pattern.
drum or something behind it. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's lazy. I don't know if it's any more lazy than what Diddy was doing.
They used it. They used the examples in the article. Yeah.
But at least the equipment that he was using back then, it took some skill to know how to do it.
He wasn't doing it though.
I don't know. I think for that argument, I would just say it's evolved.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's become easier to do that now.
Way easier. Yeah.
So, but if Diddy could have used that stuff, he would have used it too.
Absolutely.
So we have three lazies, and then Jay Moore was opposed to the word lazy.
I mean, because now I will say the laziest thing I've heard, I don't remember the young lady's name who did it, but like all she does is spit a verse over P.D. Pablo's, what was the song? North Carolina.
Oh, Helicopter.
Whatever.
I haven't even heard that one.
And there's no flip on it. They don't speed it up. They don't
It's not
slow
called
it down.
Helicopter.
All she's doing is spitting a verse over. Nobody tries to replay any instruments. Nothing.
Just like
Now
jack the
that
song.
is as lazy as anything that I've ever heard.
Wait, it's her record or is it on some mixtape?
No, it's
stuff?
her record.
Really?
I'm trying to figure out. I'll find it at the
She
end
rapped
of the show.
over the whole beat as is.
Rhymed over the beat, and I was like, "This is."
I mean, I'm happy if I'm the producer.
Yeah, I mean, Timbaland probably got 100% of that song.
If I'm the producer, I'll take that.
Because there's not like when I hear that, I'm like, well, I mean, if we just not trying, let's just go ahead and pull up some
beats,
pull up some instrumentals, and then I can say I'm a producer. I produced that record. All you did was put the CD in and had somebody rhyme over it again.
Needs more cowbell.
Yeah,
what's crazy? Whoever said artist is, and there's somebody that's credited as a producer.
Yeah.
For that. I don't know who it is, but with her somebody recorded her, mixed and engineered it around that old beat.
Probably chopped it up. Probably had to still chop it up to loop it correctly. Yeah. I guess that's the production. Yeah,
but somebody sampled, back that thing up.
Yep.
But that was an original composition by Manny Fresh.
Sure was.
Which means now he's getting a check for. Now people are sampling his catalog. Well, I don't because he did sell part of his catalog.
That's true.
So
if it's still under what he owns, though, he's getting some nice
right.
bread.
So now, I mean, as somebody like that who didn't sample. Now we're just in that era to where, okay, the songs that we loved originally are just being like, I heard somebody redo, I think it's The Weeknd in 21 Savage. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
That song's barely 20 years old.
Yeah, somebody did that. But if you think about it, the songs that were getting sampled when we were kids were around that same age.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? It's just we looked at it like it was older. But it was, technically, some of the stuff was actually newer. And some of the stuff is getting sampled now.
Like we think in my mind, I always
20
thought
some years ago.
Yeah, in my mind, I always thought that In Between the Sheets was like the 70s. That was the 80s.
Yeah.
Great song.
And and it was,
but it was different genres too.
True,
different genres.
true.
I think that's the main thing that's different is that now we have hip hop sampling hip hop.
Yeah,
because it was kind of appeasing or putting a new spin on it for us. You know what I'm saying? So these are songs that our parents was listening to, but now we're hearing it differently because it's the same genre of music isn't being recorded over it.
When I first started sampling records, right, or just trying to figure out how to do it, or going to the digging in the crates, as they say, and all that type of stuff, I would never look for anything that was current or had anything associated with hip hop. All the stuff that I was digging in the crates for, alone, I'm looking for jazz, soul, R&B, or whatever. I never looked for hip hop stuff to chop.
It was an unspoken rule.
Yeah, like I never looked for stuff like that. Like AGs would tell you, like one of the first records I chopped up was a Major Harris record. Like just some old school soul that's funky. Like it was nothing nowhere near close to hip hop at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's different now. Like they going back into the same genre and just.
I think an element that kind of comes into this, the laziness is because biting is a big thing in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you're getting close to biting when you like sample something of the same genre. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like you're,
especially if it was a hit record.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got big shoes to fill if you're taking a hit record and putting your own spin on it and putting it back out there.
If it was me, I'd have left Nelly alone. I'd have left that one alone, and there was no need for that. That record is just fine. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't heard the version y'all talking about, but I've heard people talk about it.
Either.
I've heard people talking about it.
You don't need to hear it.
It's just,
it's
bad.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it's not worth listening to.
Once again, but another original composition by Pharrell.
Yeah.
Or the Neptunes, rather. And so now they're in that space to where they're starting to get mailbox money off of people sampling their original compositions.
Maybe this is why these companies are gobbling up all these.
They probably see
these catalogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to snatch up somebody's catalog, I'm definitely going to look at getting Timbaland and
Pharrell
because they
and Manny,
Manny,
Kanye,
because they didn't sample. Kanye, you got to start splitting that pie up.
Yeah, that's true.
You
really got to split his pie up.
3 and 4 samples.
Yeah, you got to split that up.
Yeah,
Manny them would eat well. Mm-hmm. Manny, Timbo, and Pharrell would eat well. And I mean,
beats by the pound. I know how y'all feel about
a lot of that they was sampling stuff that was still on the radio.
Well, some of the stuff was original.
That's actually good.
KLC
had a lot of original stuff.
If your fans only knew was on the radio, like maybe 6 months after, if your girl only knew.
That was a great album. True to the Game was great. I don't care what nobody said.
Is that the first?
That's the one where they three ski masks on the cover.
Oh, that's the one with Swamp.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, Long.
Swamp Aggin.
Swamp.
Nope.
Swamp Aggin, Swamp Aggin, Swamp Aggin.
That was a great song, man.
I'm sorry,
Swamp Aggin,
great. Just turn that off.
It's great.
Jumped in my cutlass, rolling. Hey, that's
man,
it.
I got a certain appreciation to certain music.
Because where you was at.
Not only that, but having a stereo in your car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you was riding good.
Man, when you got some nice speakers and everything sound good.
Jay Moore, I'm telling you, man,
you'll let it in.
That's the only reason why I liked a lot of Cash Money stuff back then.
It sounded great.
I like Cash Money, and I didn't have a nice stereo. I liked Cash Money.
Jay Moore, I'm telling you, man, you hear that swamp.
And then when it break down and go into the UGK beat at the end of the song.
Come on, man.
That was cold. I'm sorry.
I used to have extra tweeters, man. I used to tweeter out there with the Velcro
screaming.
Hey, Lone had some 12s, if I'm not mistaken. You had some 12?
I had
112? Yeah.
I got pulled over twice in the same day because of my tweeters.
Yeah. They were outside the car?
No, but they were angled.
So you know how some people would put them in the grill.
They were no, they weren't like that.
Yeah.
They were like they were angled out though.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Screaming.
Lone was screaming. I've been in that. I was in that car.
Hey.
He definitely was screaming.
Working that poor alternator.
I remember the first time I put Chronic 2001 in my car.
Oh man.
I was like, damn. I think this is crazy.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode. NewOldHeads.com for all the education you need this year, as always. If you see it, like it, subscribe, share. We appreciate the support, as always. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
In a minute.
And clean your house.
Yeah.